you've noticed, but in today's society, we struggle to engage in healthy, kind, open dialogue with people who think differently than us, who have a different position than us. And I want to explore this today to help us understand what's going on in the brain in these moments that make these conversations hard. This 2-minute tip is likely going to be, I don't know, a 5 to 7 minute tip, but it will be worth it if you stick around with me. I'm going to walk you through an exercise that I hadn't done in a while. I used to do this in workshops frequently. I just pulled it out in a conference recently, and so thought it would be fun to introduce to you today. So in these situations, when whether we're meeting somebody for the first time or we're stepping into a conversation on a controversial topic, what happens is at a subconscious level, our brains are deciding in a matter of seconds, is this person like me or unlike me? Are they with me or against me, right? In group versus out group. And our brain essentially categorizes them again at a subconscious level very early on in the conversation. And we can actually feel this happening. And so I want to invite you to close your eyes, unless you're driving, close your eyes for a minute. And I'm going to read through some statements about different types of people. And I want you to experience how your brain and your body responds when I describe a certain person. You are going to experience your brain categorizing this person as with you or against you, like you, or unlike you. Okay, so close your eyes and here we go. The first question is, so how do you feel about people who love cats? How do you feel about people who love dogs? How do you feel about people who drive below the speed limit? How do you feel about people who own a handgun? How do you feel about people who don't attend church? How do you feel about people who voted for the other candidate? How do you feel about people who drive an electric car, who eat meat, who have tattoos, who don't believe in marriage? How do you feel about people who curse? How do you feel about people who wake up early in the morning? And how do you feel about those who sleep in? Can you feel your brain automatically categorizing? You're either drawn to that person, or you have kind of this adverse reaction. Your brain is categorizing them as like you or unlike you. And those that we categorize as in group, we automatically feel this connection with them that enables us to engage in healthier dialogue with them. Here's what happens. So I'm in a conversation with somebody and I have categorized them as outgroup, unlike me. Goodness, they definitely are on a different page than I am. Here's what happens next. My brain actually processes their words, what they're sharing, at a more shallow level. I have a hard time allowing their words to sink in. Versus on the flip side, if I've categorized the person as in group, as like me, my brain actually allows me to really absorb and process what they're saying, their position, their words at a deeper level. So already we are like opening up to the people like us, and our brains do not really want to let in more information from those that we've categorized as outgroup. And the next thing is that for people who I have categorized as, we'll start with like me this time, in group, I naturally empathize with them more easily. If they're sharing about a hardship or a burden, something challenging, my pain neural networks actually light up in a similar way when they are sharing. I just naturally exercise more empathy toward them and their position. On the flip side, with those that I have identified as outgroup, unlike me, I have a harder time naturally empathizing with their hardships, with their struggles. And then the last thing that happens, again, at a subconscious level, so this is really somewhat out of our control, if I've categorized them as like me, as in group, I feel motivated to see them succeed. I am going to give facial expressions, tone, other nonverbals that really are affirming and warm and make them feel connected and affirmed naturally. And I'm not even realizing I'm doing it. Versus those who are unlike me, I naturally give colder vibes, maybe crossing arms, maybe leaning back, facial expressions that are less inviting and warm. I mean, imagine you are conducting an interview with a candidate from your alma mater, the best school on the planet. Guess what? You have categorized them as in group, and you are naturally going to give warmer vibes in that interview versus interviewing somebody from the opposing school. So this is all happening again at a subconscious level, but it impacts every chance to have healthy dialogue thereafter. And so today, what I want is for us to just have heightened awareness of this reality, of the way our brains categorize at a subconscious level and how we respond thereafter. If we can notice when this is happening and aim to just kind of pause the categorization and continue to enter the conversation with some curiosity and a willingness to listen, it will serve us and the other person well. And might I remind you that listening to someone's story and perspective, it doesn't mean you have to agree with it. You can listen to understand their perspective, to understand their story and their experience. It does not mean you have to agree with it. Chances are, if you're willing to listen to theirs and actually absorb it and consider it, they're going to be more willing to listen to yours. And oh, guess what? We have a chance to actually have a real, thoughtful conversation from there.